What is up guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are unboxing another highly anticipated figure, the special deluxe edition of the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, aka Tobey Maguire's version of Spider-Man, made by Hot Toys. As the first figure Hot Toys released in the year 2024, let's check out how it is from all perspectives. And also, Happy New Year guys, thank you for all your support for my channel. The official product name for this Spider-Man is Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, but let's just call him Tobey in the video. I can't tell you how much the original Spider-Man trilogy have impacted my life. I believe same thing goes for a lot of people too. As the first and most down-to-earth version of Spider-Man on the big screen, Tobey's version of Spider-Man will always hold a special place in my heart. While successfully presenting the complexity and emotional levels of the character, he also shows the theme that with great power comes great responsibility. After more than 10 years, when I saw Tobey play Spider-Man again on the big screen, the premiere night of No Way Home was one of the best nights I have ever had. And also thanks to him for these iconic memes. This time, the toy comes in 3 versions: Standard, Deluxe, and Special Deluxe. The Standard version is priced $315, while the other 2 versions are both priced at $460 US. The Deluxe version includes an additional diorama base compared to the Standard version, and Special Deluxe version also comes with the diorama base and with 1 extra Doc Ock tentacle. Firstly, the packaging of the Deluxe version is very large, especially when compared to other Deluxe versions of the No Way Home series. The box is too big, even a bit thicker than the new Batman and Bat Signals box. Overall weight exceeds 3.5 kilograms. The cover design is same as all other No Way Home products, same background, but with the OG Spidey this time. Although the box is quite thick, the inner box only has 1 layer. In the top tray, you will find the additional hands. And inside, the figure, the head sculpt, empty mask, and small warning signs are on the right side. The entire left side is filled with the massive Sandman diorama base. The box is so deep, it is also because of this diorama base. The spider webs, tentacle, and stand support are placed along the edges of the box. The 1.0 version was released in 2010. It was also the first Spider-Man figure Hot Toys have ever made. Although looking at it today, you will find a lot of flaws in almost every aspect, but back then, it was a groundbreaking product. Oh man, I miss those old days. Since the 1.0 version is pretty much an antique right now, comparing directly with the new version might not be very meaningful. So in the video, I will compare the two only at the parts where I think it's necessary. These 2 figures have a time gap of 13 years, with over 500 products released in between. When they are placed side by side, the differences between the old and new are, well, you know what I'm trying to say here. Firstly, let's take a look at the main body of the figure. In terms of the body proportions, the overall ratio is pretty good. Tobey being the most muscular Spider-Man among the 3, although in No Way Home, they removed the muscle suit inside the costume, making him appear slimmer compared to the previous trilogy, which is also the reference they used to make this figure. But you can see on the chest and shoulders, this one is still a bit larger compared to the other 2 Spider-Mans. I think it looks pretty good. The height of this figure is under 30 centimeters, also making it the shortest one among the 3 Spider-Mans. For the upper body, there is also a vest-shaped inner lining inside the costume to make the body shape look better, like the comic Spider-Man we have talked before. And for the muscles, they are solid hard, not those soft paddings Hot Toys used on the PlayStation Spider-Mans. Looking at the 1.0 version today, one of the biggest problem is the body, like these super huge thighs making the entire body proportion looks weird. And also most importantly, this body can barely stay straight no matter how you adjust it. Visually, it's like you're drunk, but trying your best to pretend you're not in front of your wife. It might sound funny, but that's how the 1.0 version makes me feel like. Now let's take a look at the costume. Before it was released, this costume was one part of the toy that I was really looking forward to. Tobey's costume design in the movie is one of the most plain and ordinary ones, but it has some interesting details. Firstly, the figure has nicely reproduced the shadow effects on the red parts of the costume. This is especially noticeable in the belly area. It might not be as obvious in the video, but if you look at it with your bare eyes, they are very noticeable. The abs of the body is same as other Spider-Man figures, but the shadows enhance the shape of the abs, making them stand out even more. Personally, I am very satisfied. The second point is that Tobey's costume has very three-dimensional webbings throughout the entire body. Combined with the silver gray color, the webbings look very cool. The toy's webbings and spider logos on the costume are still heat printed onto the red fabric. The quality is pretty nice, especially the color of the webbings. They are in silver gray just like the actual prop. Additionally, Hot Toys has also replicated the curved patterns of the webbings. Each little square is not just a simple, perfect square shape. And with a webbing on the outer edge, the cuffs look way more neat compared with the 1.0 version. The spider logos on the chest and back are accurate in terms of shape, size, and positions. The red fabric is made of elastic material, and there are also this dark, shadowy effect all over. When compared to this vibrant red of the 1.0 version, the new one looks much better. The black small grid patterns are also very clear. The blue areas are a deep blue color, almost like black. It's somewhere in between of the other two Spider-Mans. These areas are still made of rubbery material, and they are attached to the red fabric like the webbings. The 1.0 version, the red and blue areas were stitched together, and when looking at it closely, it's not so good. The stitching seams of the costume are still in areas such as the arms, ribs, legs, waist, hips, and top of the head. The head with mask is same as the Amazing Spider-Man's, also follows the design of a detachable neck. The improvement in appearance compared to the 1.0 version is very obvious. Firstly, the shape of the head in the new version is much better. In the 1.0 version, since the mask and costume are undetachable, the neck part is quite loose. Looks like it doesn't have a chin and with a flat face from certain angles. The new version looks much better in areas like the chin, nose, and back of the head. But the gap between the neck and body is quite obvious, more obvious than the Amazing Spider-Man's. I tried to push it down as hard as I could to minimize the gap, but unfortunately, what you see now is the best it can be. And the webbings on the mask do look a bit weird. This middle point right here is supposed to be up here, and that's also what was shown in the official images. But the final product, this middle point is lower, making the overall appearance looks off. I hope they can change it for the black suit. The lenses are quite similar to the 1.0 versions in terms of shape, size, and quality. They still have black frames and silver white lenses with dotted pattern on the surface. The appearance of these lenses is okay, but the lenses on the costume from the film have a more protruding three-dimensional effect, like they are outside of the mask. It would be much better if Hot Toys could make these lenses pop out more from the mask like the Amazing Spider-Man's. Now let's take a look at the accessories. About the hands, the default hands are a pair of fists. The additional ones include a pair of web shooting hands, a pair of open palm hands, a pair of crawling hands, a pair of pointing hands, and two different gripping hands. The grid patterns on the red areas of the hands are also visible. The fingers are a bit thicker than those of the 1.0 versions, and the gestures are exactly same as the other two Spider-Mans, but the fingers of this one are a little longer. The webs are same as always, there's no changes. To shoot the webs, first replace the palm with the ones have web shooter, and then just plug the webs into the holes. The empty mask has a similar appearance to the other two, but the lenses on this one have a more three-dimensional effect, like what I was talking about. They look more like the lenses on the actual prop. Now let's take a look at this brand new head sculpt. Before this one, Hot Toys only made one Tobey Maguire head sculpt, which was featured in the black suit version. I think the head sculpt looks quite good, but it would be even better if it came with some expressions. When comparing it to the previous one, the improvements are very obvious. Although there are wrinkled details around the eyes and nose, still I think this head appears a bit younger than what he looked in the film. When I watched this scene in the theater, my initial reaction was, wow, Tobey has really aged quite a bit. In terms of the paint job, the blue eyes look very bright. There is stubble around the chin. It's not so obvious, but still giving the head a good middle-aged appearance. There are blood vein details on the temples and forehead. You may not be able to see them clearly in the video, so I will slightly adjust the color of the picture. Other details, such as the small mole below the eye and the marks on the skin on the side, are also nicely replicated. One small regret with this head sculpt is that it doesn't feature the rolling eyeballs. The head and neck are detachable, and the inside of the head sculpt have some protection pads. Installation is pretty easy. You just need to unplug the head with mask and plug this one back on. If you use the old head sculpt, the neck will appear too long, and there is a noticeable color difference between the head and the neck. So, if you want to build a younger appearance, you might just want to wait for the new head sculpt from the Venom Suit 2.0 version. And here's a look of the other two Spider-Mans wearing this costume. About these two warning signs, the weathering and rusty effects on these two little pieces are very well done. And these areas also have a slight 3-dimensional feel if you touch them with your fingers. The metallic paint finish on the backside is also very impressive. And this cure, the size is similar to the one from The Amazing Spider-Man, featuring a lot of mechanical details on the surface. Most of the wires are painted, and the thickest one right here is a separate piece made of soft rubber. The entire accessory doesn't have any articulated joints, and the overall sculpting, especially the fine details on the top, is quite well done. Now let's take a look at this diorama base. This time the size is very large, being the largest among these three. For the dimensions, you can check out the numbers I put down. The provided measurements only account for the bases themselves, and once the tentacles are attached, the size will be even larger. This hand is pretty much a full scale, even larger than my hand, which can grip a basketball. The face is about 1/2 scale. Additionally, the head can be slightly rotated. Let's compare it to the base from the first Black Suit Spider-Man as well. Let's first see how to assemble the complete look of the base. First, there are these warning signs. They don't need to stay anywhere fixed. You can simply place it in here or any other locations you prefer. Another accessory is the tentacle that only comes with the special edition. Remove this cap on the back, and then just plug it into this hidden hole. The integrated suit comes with two tentacles. One is thicker than the other, along with a large and a small mechanical hand. The one for the Sandman is the smaller set. The only difference is in the paint colors. And here is a quick comparison with the tentacle from the Doc Ock. In terms of the quality of the base, the surface texture feels very rough. And with the excellent earthy paint color, it really gives the impression that this base was molded from sand. Additionally, there are some sand-like things in certain areas, enhancing the overall realism. Taking this cap as one example, Hot Toys has applied a layer of material that's like real sand on the plastic surface. I'm not sure what this is, but it feels so real. Compared to the base of the Black Suit Spider-Mans, the improvement is very obvious. The sand looks very nice. The palm areas have a convincing appearance like it's melting. And on the backside, there are some sand pillars. The backside of the head is empty. And the teeth, nose, and eye sockets are very detailed. The size of this base also enhances the sense of this is a giant creature. In addition to the sand part, the base also features two steel frames and some rocks. The rocks are similar to those on the lizard base. The steel frames look pretty good, with wheel details and paint colors on the fracture sections. The regular stand only comes with the standard edition. Due to the unique design of this base, besides posing the figure with some flying poses, there is pretty much no room for the figure to stand. Additionally, I recommend to maintain some distance between the figure and the base. As mentioned earlier, the rough surface of the base could damage the fabric of the costume if they collide together. Finally, let's take a look at the articulation. The head with mask can be tilted up and down about 20 degrees. Tilting to the sides are about 20 degrees as well. And it can rotate around 45 degrees. I wouldn't recommend keeping this head in angled positions for a long time or frequently rotating it, as over time, the mask may become looser. For Tobey's head, the range of tilting up and down is similar to the other head. Tilting to the sides is around 30 degrees. And it can rotate a full 360 degrees. The shoulders have gear joints, allowing the arm to be raised horizontally and forward to about 90 degrees, and close to 90 degrees backward. The forearms can bend up to approximately 120 degrees. The waist features gear joints as well, allowing forward tilting of around 30 degrees. Backward leaning is pretty limited, and lateral movement of about 45 degrees on each side. For the legs, the front kick and side kick can both achieve around 70 degrees. The bending of the lower leg can reach approximately 120 degrees. The ankle articulation is very nice, providing a wide range of motion for upward and downward movement, as well as lateral tilting. The front of the feet also have independent joints. Overall, I believe a lot of you have purchased this Spider-Man on the first day of pre-order. The quality of this Spider-Man is okay, but definitely could be better, especially about the mask. I truly hope that Hot Toys can make some big adjustments for the black suit version. The Sandman base is great, good quality, and the size is very impressive. I think it's one of the best from Hot Toys. Let me know what you guys think about this figure in the comment section, and I hope you all have enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.